The beach is totally my happy place. So, when Jen from Copper Cactus DIY created this challenge, I absolutely had to join. And in today's video, I will be creating my own stencils. I'm working on this antique youth-size rocker. I'm starting off by taking off the seat, just 4 screws, really simple, really easy. I'm going to clean it really well. This is a Dawn Power Wash bottle that I just keep refilling with my own dish soap. Cleaning it, it's really dirty, it's really gross, it's been sitting for a long time. I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand off the finish, but I'm not going to paint this piece. I'm just going to sand it, and I'm going to make it look weathered and worn and give it that beachy feel. So I'm leaving on some of the old finish. As you can see, it looks weathered, it looks worn. I love it. Using this drop cloth, I'm going to make a new seat cushion. I have to iron it first to get out the wrinkles. Then using the seat as a template, I'm going to cut my drop cloth out around my seat with about 3 inches around the seat, just so I can fold it over and staple it all on. I'm making this stencil by hand. I'm not using a machine to cut it. So to find my image, I'm going to go on to Google and I'm going to type in seashell stencil and see what pulls up. I don't want anything really intricate because I do have to cut these all out piece by piece by hand. So I'm looking for something kind of on the simple side, and that's not going to be too difficult. When I find my image that I want to make my stencil out of, I'm going to screenshot it and then I'm going to crop it. And I can print directly from my phone, but if you're printing from your computer, you can use your snipping tool or download the image and print the image that way and resize it as needed. So I'm just going to crop it on my phone and then I'm going to print it directly from my phone. If you need a larger image, I recommend using blockposters.com. You can save your image as a JPEG and resize it there on blockposters.com and make it as big as you need it for those larger projects. Once my image is printed, I'm going to take my piece of paper, I'm going to flip it over, and using a pencil, I'm going to rub my pencil lead on the back side of the image until it's completely covered. For this stencil, I'm using a brown paper bag. I'm going to iron it to get out any wrinkles and smooth it all out. Then I'm going to take my image and lay it on the brown paper bag and then trace it out. And that image will transfer onto the brown paper bag. And then to darken it, and I'm just going over it again with a pencil. And then I'm taking an X-Acto knife and I'm cutting out the image on the brown paper bag. I like to use poster board to make stencils. The stencils last longer, but it's just much harder to cut through the poster board than it is to cut through this brown paper bag. The paper bag is much more flimsy and it doesn't hold up as long as the poster board would. So there are pros and cons to using either or. Now to apply my stencil, I'm making sure I tape it down so it doesn't shift or move. And I'm being very careful when I apply my paint. I want to make sure I tap and dab straight down so I do not get any paint underneath of the stencil and cause any bleed through. I do like to mist my sponge prior to my stenciling. That just softens my sponge up a little bit and helps my paint absorb. Once my paint was dry, it was the time to put the seat back together. I'm using some spray adhesive so that way I can position my fabric onto my seat and it doesn't shift and move. And I'm using a stapler to apply the fabric to the seat. I'm making sure to pull everything tight and making sure that my pattern is lined up and it's not crooked, and making sure it looks nice and tight, fits good. It's not going to wrinkle or look wonky. For my corners, I will fold down one side underneath of the other, and I do often trim off any excess fabric so that way it doesn't get too thick and bunched up. Sometimes when that happens, the seat will not sit flat onto the chair frame, or it gets really thick and it's hard to get your screw through the fabric. And this just looks neater and more professional anyways. And finally, it is time to put it all back together. Let's have a quick look at the before we check out the final reveal. Thank you so much, Jen, for hosting this challenge. Make sure you check her out. I will have her channel linked below down in the description, as well as the playlist, and the playlist will be linked on the end screen as well. I hope you guys enjoyed my flip today. I hope you learned something. I hope you try making your own stencils, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching and being here today. See you later. Bye.